Welcome to the This Could Make Us Famous podcast. You've heard all the stories of the rich and famous. But what about everybody else? Some of the greatest and funniest stories come from everyday people. Here, we share their stories and just maybe make them famous. Let's get started. Here is your host, Jason McCormick.
Yo, 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 yo. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. Charlie, dude, how you doing?
It's been
a long time. Well, hey, you guys probably noticed that the studio is set up way differently. I thought I'd try something different. It's a new us.
Yeah.
It's a new time to be alive, a good time to be alive.
I changed up a little bit too.
Charlie, yeah, have you guys noticed that Charlie has a nice, beautiful beard right now? You like it, Charlie? You little scruffy,
Not with
itchy.
these masks. Not with these masks.
Not with the mask. Anyways, well, guys, we're going to jump right into it. We have with us in the studio today a very special guest. And I'm just going to jump right. You think we should?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. So I'm going to just jump right into it. I want to introduce to you guys today, ladies and gentlemen, with us, well, not with us, but all the way from Minnesota, please welcome the amazing Andre. What's up, dude? He's joining us
Not much.
from as well, I would say a Zoom call, but he's joining us from Minnesota. What part of Minnesota?
St. Paul, which is right next to Minneapolis.
St. Paul.
The Twin Cities.
Yes.
Twin City. I've been to Minnesota, and it is. I expected everybody in the Minnesota area to have like the don't you know, like that Canadian.
That's not Minnesota at all.
Betcha.
You betcha. But I only heard a few people that had accents like that. But anyways, guys, I'm sure some of you that have listened to the show before recognize Andre. He's been on 2-3 times back in the past, back in the old days. He's an OG on the show. Awesome, man. So what have you been up to lately? What have you been doing with yourself?
My friend, I've been doing a lot. I moved out of the city about, I don't know, not quite a year ago, maybe like 7-8 months ago. And I moved into this smaller apartment near downtown St. Paul. And then just 2-3 months ago, I moved even closer to the heart of downtown St. Paul into a nicer apartment. I am about 4 stories up in the air. I've got a cool little view. Get to see what the people around town are doing. I even get to sometimes look out my window and bada bing, bada boom. You know what? Check up on people.
You spying on your neighbors?
What? I mean, I'm making sure none of these downtown folk are getting out of hand. You know, it's kind of crazy because I actually live right next to the police station. I live 20 feet away from the St. Paul police station, and it's like whenever I'm heading to work, like there'll just be a squad of cars behind me.
Really?
What a strange way to start your day with five coppers right behind you. You know,
So
but
when
at
you
least
say
I'm not going
20
to get mugged.
When you say 20 feet away, are you 20 feet away up? 20 feet away sideways? What?
Yeah, sideways. So I'm in this tall apartment building, and then you know, about 10 feet out, or about 20 or 30 feet after our parking lot is the street, and then just on the other side of the street, you know, I could throw a rock and probably wouldn't want to do that. Might get a ticket, but I could throw a rock and hit the police station from where I'm at right now.
Well, we got that on video, so they'll be busting your door in a second. No, so when you first started talking, the video glitched a little bit, but that's all right. You were saying that you left Kansas City. You moved from Kansas City to Minnesota how long ago?
Yeah, this is about a little over half a year ago, maybe like 8 months or so. I just recently moved from Kansas City. Last time I was in Kansas City, and I actually got to be there in person. But now I moved to St. Paul, and here I am on the Zoom meeting live from downtown St. Paul, right next to the police station where I'm at right now.
That's awesome, man. Well, we're definitely glad to have you. It's definitely been a while. We had a few things we wanted to talk to you about. one of them is I know that I think we talked about this in our previous podcast, but you're a huge Seahawks fan. So what do you think about everything? Do you think this is going to be the year for the Seahawks this next season?
I mean, we've definitely had some upgrades. We had a couple injuries. We had a couple issues last year. We are addressing those issues. I've been keeping up with the team. We got a new offensive lineman. We extended some contracts. Now we just got to hope that our quarterback, Russell Wilson, pretty much will just do what he does. Oh,
boy, they're hanging on to that guy. They're not letting go.
Pretty much.
That's I mean, what do you think? I mean, you are a diehard Seahawks fan, but what do you think about Mahomes compared to Russell?
I'd say, I definitely probably give Patrick Mahomes the edge. He's just, he's had a little bit more success so far in his career than I'd say. He's probably a little bit more explosive than Wilson, but that doesn't mean that the Seahawks could, beat the Kansas City Chiefs any given Sunday. But I will say Patrick Mahomes probably give him the edge. He's a little bit better.
I think that was a good, wise decision. I mean, you're from Kansas City, right? Or is it? No. You're from Seattle. You are from Seattle. Yeah. I remember that.
Born and raised in Seattle.
Okay, so you rightfully could be a Seahawks fan, for sure.
Yeah. I'm from Detroit, but I'm not rightfully a Lions fan.
You're not a Lions. Hey, I don't blame you on that one, man. They haven't been good for a while now. But yeah, man, I was really, excuse me, I just burped in the microphone. That's a first.
Woo, smell that
you can smell it. It's going all the way.
All the way to St. Paul.
So I was really disappointed about the previous Super Bowl, of course, because Tom Brady freaking destroyed us. I mean, it wasn't even a game, dude. It wasn't even a game. It was an embarrassment. I felt so bad because Patrick was holding it all together. The offensive line failed miserably. What was your thoughts on the
crumbled? Yep. I thought the Chiefs were going to win, and the Chiefs apparently lost one of their All-Pro guards, and apparently the guys that replaced him obviously not handle it. They were throwing him around like a rag doll, and if they would have just protected Mahomes like they normally do, Chiefs probably would have won. But the Buccaneers defensive line trashed the Chiefs offensive line. That was the story of the game. That was it. A lot of the time, whoever wins the battle of the line,
right,
most likely they're going to win.
Right. Yeah, and it was just basically a total domination from out the door. I mean, they just destroyed us, and I felt so bad. But I like Patrick's attitude. He bounces back really quick, and I think he's definitely going to go down as one of the greats in history. But we'll see what this next season is going to be like. I mean, they signed a couple new players.
You guys got that new All-Pro center from the Patriots. I forgot his name, but you got the best offensive lineman from the Patriots. Now he's for the Kansas City Chiefs, not the Kansas City Chiefs. Not the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Hey, now.
You guys, My
wow.
bad, pardon the French there.
You're all good. But yeah, man, so we'll see what this next year brings for sure. What was that? The truck went by?
Yeah, I'm right. I'm by highway. My bad. I kind of got.
I'm sure the people listening to the podcast are like,
toilet flushing.
I know. Are you sure?
Yeah, you guys. I'm right by my window in downtown St. Paul here, and it can get annoying sometimes living downtown.
So
it is what it is.
So I wanted to talk to you about one major thing I wanted to mention to you is what's going on right now in the world is we got all these we had the riots going on around the time you were on the podcast. You remember all that in Minnesota, ironically, and you're in Minnesota. Were you there when that happened?
No, but I had some people, obviously, I got friends, family in Minnesota. I had some people that were in Minnesota, and someone really close to me worked at one of the targets that was vandalized, and I believe there was like a few days to where obviously they didn't go to work because they didn't want to get attacked by the crazy rioters. So,
Mhm.
and there was one time there was a rumor that because there was all the race wars going on in Minnesota, blah blah blah, and there was a rumor going around Minneapolis that the KKK was going to come and fight against all of the left wing people, whatever you want to call
Right.
that stuff. But there was a rumor that KKK was going to come through and just tear it up. But
Yeah.
I don't think that ever happened. So I'm glad that it transpired.
Right. Well, right now we are, the whole country their eyes are glued on this whole court hearing for the Derek. Is it Derek Chauvin?
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, sounds right.
So it's just crazy. I mean, like it's been about a year, less than a year probably, since that whole thing went down, and now we're all reliving it again. And I just wanted to know your thoughts on it. I mean, you're part African American, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so give us your point of view on it. What is your thoughts on this whole deal?
I mean, my point of view is, there's no excuse for somebody murdering somebody. It's different. There's a difference between they're trying to say that it was an accident. Okay, so here's what an accident is. An accident is I was drinking and I passed out behind the wheel and ran over a dog. It's an accident, but you still did something bad. You're going to get in big trouble. Now, you can't say an accident was I had my knee on the dog and was crushing the dog and then accidentally suffocated it. No, I don't think that's going to work for an accident. I've heard so many things like George Floyd was on drugs, this and that. Yeah, maybe that played a part in it, but it would have never happened. I think if the cop was not choking him with his knee, why didn't you just put him in handcuffs and, just put him in the back of the vehicle? You know what I mean? Like, there's just no excuse for that. There's no excuse. But I'm sure he's got some good attorneys there that are going to come up with something like, George Floyd, he was going to die anyways, type of thing like that. Oh, he was going to die anyways, right? The knee on the neck wasn't the catalyst for his death. Yes, the knee on the neck was the catalyst for the death. If the knee was not on his neck, he would not be dead. Even if he was on drugs or whatever all the things are, the knee was the main catalyst from what I can see. What do you think about that?
Well, what we're going to see, hopefully, is all the facts laid out for everyone to see and that we can all understand. Because I know when you're an outsider looking in, it's hard to know what's going on because none of us were there. So we only see
exactly.
we only see one one point of view. We see one camera angle. Now they've recently released all the footage basically from the cops' point of view and but here's my view on it. I'm really torn on it. I totally agree with you that the way the cop had his knee on the dude's neck was insane. The dude's saying he can't breathe.
Force.
Yeah, he said he can't breathe. When someone's saying they can't breathe, then you do something about that. Like, okay, I'll let off a little bit. Now, I will say this. I did watch the police footage, and he did struggle with the cops. He did wiggle his way out of the cop car in handcuffs, and that's
he was wrestling back.
Yeah, he was fighting the police, but that I think part of that could be because he was on drugs, and they should already know.
Yeah.
They've already dealt with people that were high on drugs, that how they get. But still, my whole thing is, because I try to play both sides, and I understand. I understand cops go through a lot, man. Their life is on the line. If they hesitate, they can end up dead in a second. I've watched camera footage of cops that hesitated and then they got blown away. But with this whole situation, I think we do need to address that there is such thing as police brutality. It's not as much as what they're saying it is, but it does exist, and it's not 100% just African Americans that get targeted. Did you watch the one with the white? What's his name? That one white guy that got assassinated in a hotel. He's laying flat.
Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, I mean the dude.
Was he in the hallway?
He was in the hallway. Yeah, his face was down, and he was terrified, man. And the guy had a freaking gun on him, and he just unloaded the clip on him. So But
I want to hear what Charlie thinks about
yeah,
this
Charlie,
stuff
I
as
was
well.
just thinking that. What is your thoughts?
Well, I'm sure that there is racial tensions, okay, but I don't think the cop goes in to work that morning and says, "I'm going to take somebody out today." Now,
Yeah.
things happen in the heat of the moment, and yeah, he's on drugs, and I haven't seen all the footage or anything like that, but a lot of the where people see as excess force, they're actually possibly protecting him from further harm. I mean, if he's fighting and struggling and kicking and screaming and trying to get away, I did hear that they had him in the car and he got out. That's where things probably got heated up when they had him to the point of being arrested, and then he's fighting to get away. That's no more different than, being pulled over and driving away from the scene while they're writing you a ticket or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just going to get heated and high-speed chase happens or whatever. So given all that into consideration, I mean, I'm sure that those 4 cops did not go there to work that day with the intention of killing somebody or harming somebody. I just don't see that, whether they're white, black, purple, pink, red, yellow, green.
Yeah,
I don't see any of them going to work with the intention of doing that.
I would say most people probably agree with that. And I think
So that's got to be taken into consideration.
right.
That the things happen at the heat of the moment, right, wrong, or indifferent, and it's not for us to judge and start all these riots and everything like that. I mean, when we think that something's gone bad, because we're seeing clips of footage, that and all this kind of stuff, and plus I'm a conspiracy theorist, and so I think there's more to the ball game part of this whole thing.
Well, now our channel is going to be taken down, Charlie.
Sorry,
Charlie, dang you. So to wrap this up about this topic, I just think that it's all going to play out in court.
Yeah.
And I pray to God that this could end peacefully, regardless, and justice can be done, and that we can come together and unite. And I mean, honestly, if you were in their shoes and you were facing the judge, you would want everything to be done fairly for you, and that the facts and the evidence would be brought forward. Because I myself, I don't go with what's popular and what everyone's telling you should believe or think. It's like, whatever the evidence shows, you're guilty. If the evidence proves you did that, you're guilty. Is that a cat dying?
No.
Did a cat land on your cactus and we didn't see it?
No, I don't know. I mean, I hear all kinds of stuff out here being right by
the highway.
By the street. I got outside, looked out the window with my binoculars, and I saw a couple of dudes. I looked out my window. I think he saw me looking, and he turned back and he looked at me like glared at me. I said, "Who are you looking at me from your window?" The funny thing is, they could never get to my apartment because the doors are, you can't get in. They're locked or whatever.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So, what's your thoughts? What are you thinking?
A couple things here, and to be completely frank, completely honest, not to take away from any of the importance of this, but trying to come up with too many conclusions can kind of be a waste of breath, because, I mean, I think what's most important is time. As more time goes by and more of the false facts are wiped away, you'll be able to see things more clearly. Hindsight is 2020. So from what we can see right now, it looks like the officer made a big mistake there. But and I don't, I think he should be getting the right punishment if the punishment is proper. But as you guys said, for example, and people might get mad. I like to sympathize everybody. So sympathize, say, to put yourself in the guy's shoes. Of course, you say, well, I would never kill somebody. You know what I mean? But,
Right.
you just don't want to jump to conclusions. Now, if from what I can see, I'm not saying anything like the guy is innocent. Don't put him in prison. What I'm saying is, let's get as many facts out there. I think
Exactly.
it might be. I think it might be a little. It might be a little off kilter to be. I heard he got released, and I'm not sure if that's true. And now it might be a little off kilter if he's out eating at a Red Lobster right now when he should be in prison. Now that's not cool, but I don't know whether he should be in prison personally. I just know what I've seen from this little cellular device that I have right here. That's all I really know.
Right.
So yeah, and with that being said, I wanted to ask if you guys want to continue with the topic. If not, I wanted to ask if I could ask you guys a question about a different topic whenever we're done with this topic. So I'm going to ask you guys.
Oh, you got something else? Well, hey, I'm
Yeah.
definitely okay with that. I don't know how long this thing is even going to record you, but we'll just keep rolling with it as long as we can. Yeah. Well, yeah, I really appreciate your viewpoints on that. And I know this is a hot topic right now. People are so divided on it. And for all the listeners out there, we're not trying to be disrespectful to you. We understand that this is a very touchy subject, and we care about everybody out there. And so on every side, we want peace. We want justice. And so we'll leave it at that. We appreciate your viewpoints on that. Now,
I do.
Show us.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
Show us what.
What's that?
All right, go on. Show us what you were going to show. What is that? Is it a little drone?
Looks like a wiener dog.
Father, show you. Father, show you.
All right, guys. Andre's about to
so
show
my
us.
question, while I'm getting this thingy here started up, my question, I wanted to have one fun question because I've had one crazy experience since I've been here in St. Paul. I've had one crazy experience.
Oh, dude, we need to know.
I'm going to tell you the experience, and it's going to start with this question. Tell me about your craziest car accident experience. Hopefully, I don't hear one about. If somebody died, God bless them. I'm not talking about Billy got killed or something. I want to hear about something crazy. Maybe there was a little wreck and something crazy. I had that happen about 3 months ago. Something crazy happened.
Okay.
with my car. It wasn't good. Nobody died, but I'll get to that. So how about I want to hear stuff from Charlie. Since me and Jason been yapping so much.
Yeah.
Charlie, do you have any interesting
Yeah, thank you for
car
including
accident
Charlie.
experience? Of course,
Tell
man,
us,
we love
Charlie.
The most outrageous did not happen on the street. This happened on a local short track.
Short track.
Yeah, local short track in racing. So these cars come around turn number 2. They come down the back stretch, going into turn 3, and they locked up. So they were going full speed going into turn 4 because they couldn't brake. Well, the front car finally broke loose, and he went up over the embankment and dropped down. And it's like
No way.
It's like 200 feet down. 200 feet drop off down.
Yeah.
That he went, and his car just went up in flames. And
Oh, dang.
My God! You saw this?
Yeah, I seen this from the stands. Yep. And there was like and it's about 200 feet down, and the flames look like they were 100 feet up. So the flames are like 300 feet because it's racing fuel that they're
Right.
which burns.
It's like
hot.
jet fuel,
The guy's
basically.
okay, right?
Oh yeah, he landed upside
Okay.
down. The car landed upside down, and there was water down there, so he was actually in the water. So the water protected him from the heat.
Dang.
And they were able to get him out in time, but the car was destroyed. You should have seen the car. But he was like I ain't nothing. But he was in a little bit of pain like months later.
Dang.
Tough guy.
Well, that is something. You all right
All
there?
right.
Your camera like cut out.
Yeah, you guys. I tipped over. I was kind of taking off with
Oh,
my
you
drone.
ran
Can
into
you
it
guys
with
see
the
the
drone?
Yeah. Can you guys see the drone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can.
well,
It's cute.
All right. Prepare for takeoff.
All right.
Just wanted to share that with you guys. Takeoff. But all right, you want to go next, or you want me to go next, Jason?
I'll throw mine in real quick because I want to hear yours. I want you to have time to
Okay.
share it. So I've had a couple funny ones, but one of them we
It got me.
it stabbed you. So we had a van that flipped. I was in a van. I wasn't driving. I was a passenger, and it flipped over into a cornfield. That was funny. We survived it, obviously. And then the most recent one is my wife was, she had my work van, and the van that I had when you lived across the street, same van as yours, your previous van. Remember that? We had the exact same van. So anyway, I'm sitting in my backyard, and I look up, and there was helicopters everywhere. And I'm like, wow. And then the thought crossed my mind. I was like, I wonder if my wife, this has something to do with my wife. And I'm no joke, dude. She calls me and she says, calm down. Everything's okay. I'm okay. Well, when you hear that, you immediately panic. And it turns out there was a high-speed chase, and this girl was, I don't know, on a chase from the cops, and the helicopters were following her, and it ended up slamming in our van and destroying it. So.
Oh, wow.
Yep. That's my interesting stories. No, you're having a good old time over there, man. Andre's stealing the show.
All right. Was that? Man,
that's it, man.
Story.
Now I want to hear yours.
Mine's is kind of a little bit similar. So it all started it was about 3 months ago. Just about 3 months ago. And so I was inside of my place, and I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and we were just chilling. It was a little bit later. It was dark out. And I had just recently got this car. It was a Dodge Avenger. Got the car. I've had it for about 1 month. Loved it. 2008, 2009 Dodge Avenger. Anyway, so I was inside talking to a friend of mine, and then we were chatting, and then we hear, kind of outside, we hear a thump, like a pretty loud, like an abnormal thump type of noise. So my friend was like, whoa, what's that? What's that noise? I was like, I don't know. I said, I'm not worried about it. But that wasn't a smart thing for me to say, because my friend had looked out the window. And as soon as my friend looked out the window, my friend said, oh my God. And I was like, that's not good. That's definitely not good. So I was like, okay, well, that's fine. You can say, oh my God, but I'm inside, so I'm fine. But it wasn't me. Somebody had, a month after I bought it, smashed the back of the Dodge Avenger and totaled it. And then they smashed it and then took off.
Oh.
And then, of course, by the time we got out there, they're long gone. And I was very mad, very mad. I was saying some language that is so foul, it should never be repeated by another man. But the funny thing is, no lie, as the cool kids would say, no cap. But the car that crashed into my Dodge Avenger and drove away, their front license plate was under my car. And I called up the law enforcement and handed it to them.
Oh.
And it was nice to be able to hand that to the law enforcement, because, that car was totaled beyond repair, pretty much. It actually was still driving for a little bit, but it wasn't going to pass inspection or anything like that. So that was crazy.
That is crazy.
Plate fell under the car, and I handed it over to the police, and you know what I mean? Justice is going to be served sooner than later. I got to check back with them to see if they caught the perpetrator, that is, so I can grab that perpetrator, give him one slap right in the, unless it's a girl. If it's a guy, grab that perpetrator, give him one smack right in the noodle, and then I'll say, quit your drinking. Whatever the heck it is you're doing, just quit driving. But yeah, that's my story.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. That's a really good one. And I'm sure when they got to their destination, they realized, oh crap, I'm missing a license plate. I'm screwed, and they couldn't go back to get it. I can't imagine like what it was like when they got there and realized.
Well, if they hit you that hard, theirs probably isn't much drivable either, so it wouldn't be too hard to track them down anyway.
Right.
Instant karma.
Instant karma. Well, I don't want this video to cut out while you're doing your thing, but I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up with you. But man, dude, I love the energy that you brought it. This podcast, you brought it, man. You brought it big time. And
hey, man, you got to remember, this could make us famous. So I got to put my best stuff forward, just in case you do make me famous one day.
Yep, we're that. If we can make one person famous, then we accomplished. Yeah, we did it, and then we could just end. I almost ended the show because I've been losing subscribers, not gaining subscribers. The shows have been real boring until now. Look at this. You just wrecked the camera footage is going.
Wait a minute. I'm back. Here comes the edge. Here comes the drone. This way. Hold on. Oh!
That would have been funny if we had a. I'll put like a sound effect of like a cat meowing real loud, like you wrecked into a cat. But all right, man. Well, we're gonna let
I actually chase the cat with the drone. I'm not kidding. I have a cat and I chase it with the drone. But
put a laser on it, and then that'd be even funnier.
A pointer.
Or you should take your drone out the window onto the highway. That'd be hilarious. Like someone driving down the highway and they just see a little baby drone going out the window. That'd be funny.
That would be cool.
So anyways, there's probably so much more we could talk about. Your cactus and, all kinds of stuff.
Well, I'll bring him next time. I'll bring Cactus Jack next time.
Yeah.
For a more proper interview.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe we can actually get you on the show next time you come into Kansas City.
Sounds good to me.
All right, brother.
Peace.
Dude.
All right, man. I'll be looking out, man.
Yeah, I'll be editing tonight, and I'll leave you a little section so you can edit yourself. So you can put it on your.
All right.
All right, brother. Take it easy. Thanks for being on the show.
All right.
Peace.
See you later, Charlie.
Adios.
Oh, that was Andre.
That was it, man. That was actually a good.
Yeah, my boss was chiming in.
Your boss was?
Yeah.
Really? Yep. All right, guys. Well, that was Andre the Giant.
She left me a text message or a voicemail. Maybe it's about your taxes.
She did?
Yeah.
Oh, dadgummit.
Could be.
Well, hopefully it's not. Charlie, you screwed it. Charlie was doing our taxes because he works at a tax office. So I wanted to talk about, before we wrap up the show, this thing has been bothering me about, remember I told you about the Nike shoes?
Yeah.
Lil Nas X and the Nike shoes that have one drop of blood mixed in the paint.
Well, it's not in the paint. There was blood in the heel.
Yeah, but it's apparently mixed into the paint. Yeah. And it's in the heel.
Yeah, it's in the heel. And you can see it's like a liquid in the heel. It's
Huh.
not in the paint.
That's what I read. But anyways, there's blood in the shoe, human blood, that is. And I thought that was pretty insane. And then it goes along with Lil Nas X, his music video that he did where he was lap dancing Satan. Basically, it was totally messed up. But he did it apparently on purpose to outrage Christians because apparently Christians caused him to feel insecure about his, lifestyle choices. And so he did that in spite of Christians.
Was it Christians or was it?
Or, people that don't agree with his lifestyle. And I watched the music video. It was really disturbing, like really twisted. Even if you weren't a Christian, it's like, ooh, that's so strange. But, and then he had the shoes that are coming out called Satan shoes. And it has, I believe, Luke 10:8, about I saw Satan fall like lightning, that verse. And I just thought, man, what is going on with this kid? I guess he's a kid still, or he's young.
Well, apparently Nike didn't have anything to do with it.
Well, they were quick. After the outrage, then they had nothing to do with it.
Well, I don't think they had anything to do with it because you can buy a boatload of shoes from Nike and do with whatever you want with them.
So you could buy Nikes and
do whatever, paint them however you want or whatever, and then resell them. Yep.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's how they've been. And you can resole a shoe, so you can easily do that with the sole. Put whatever you want on it, paint it whatever color you want.
Well, Nike is suing, not Lil Nas X, but they're suing the designer. I forgot his name. I should know these things. Sorry, guys. But yeah, Lil Nas X, the designer that partnered with him, is being sued for copyright infringement or trademark. I think it's trademark. And that's not looking good for them. So I guess Nike's wanting to distance themselves as much as they can from that because of how outraged people were. Very, very upset, not happy about it at all. So what'd you find on it?
Nike accuses MSCFF MSCHF Product Studios Incorporated of trademark infringement over the designer 666 pairs of modified Nike sneakers.
Dang. So yeah, they've got to separate themselves, and they want the record to show that they had nothing to do with the Satan shoes, and that's what they say. So you got to take them at their word, I guess. But it's messed up, man. Like what?
On top of that, Nike sells the swoosh things, and so you could buy the swoosh logo, and then
put it on whatever you want.
Put it on whatever you want, yeah. So
let's just talk about the culture and like how different it is from back in the day. I mean, it seems like these people pursuing fame, they're basically selling themselves to the devil, in my opinion, like literally selling themselves to the devil so they can have money and fame. And you're seeing it more and more in our faces. You know, you're seeing this imagery and like people worshiping the devil and this occult crap, darkness, evil. It's just, and the other day I was watching, there's this, I was looking through Facebook news feed, and there was a music video of this young girl, and she was talking about like men and like how she's taking them out, and she had like a knife and she was going up to their doors, and she was talking about touching herself or like them touching themselves to her, and she had blood all over her, and it was so evil, man, demonic. And I got off of it. I'm like, this is stupid, man. The culture is just totally destroyed. They're so consumed with evil that, you know, the youth of this day, it's just, and it's not just the youth either, but what's your thoughts on?
Well, I think what's happening now is the blinders have been on so long, and people are starting to see what's actually happening. This has been going on for years. I mean, even before I was born, the shift from good to evil has been happening.
Yeah.
And so, but it's ever more prominent now than ever. And I think people the blinders have been taken off for whatever reason, and they're starting to think, and they're like, well, how did this ever happen? Well, you had the blinders on so long, and you've just been kind of ignoring all these changes that have been going on and accepting all these changes as they've gone on. And now they're there, and they're not just going to go away in the drop of a dime because, you know, like people protesting an abortion on a corner. That's not going to go away overnight.
Well, and that's true. It's going to take the hearts of man, like people, their hearts to be transformed and changed for things to change for the better in this world. And unfortunately, people they're chasing after pleasures and short-term things to fulfill themselves. I mean, look at Hollywood. You just see all these actors and actresses and celebrities. They have all the money, they have all the fame, they have all the success, and they're empty. They're completely empty. And it's because the only thing that can fulfill us is, in my opinion, being a Christian, is God. You know, God is the only thing that can fulfill that empty void, or in goodness, love, loving one another, and stuff and the pleasures of this world do not satisfy us. I mean, just look at these successful people. they got those things that we reach for. They have them, and they're not happy with that lifestyle. They're not happy.
They want more.
Yeah, they want more. It's never enough. And so,
They get the fame and fortune, and that's not enough. So then they seek out drugs and alcohol.
yep,
And that's not enough. And
they just destroy themselves and eventually end their lives.
And I mean, Ken and Barbie have been around for how long? I'm surprised that's one they haven't targeted.
Cancel culture. Yeah.
I'm surprised.
That's another
I'm
topic.
surprised they have not went after those two. But these girls, they see Barbie as an idol, and they want to be just like Barbie, and the guy's going to be like Ken, and that's not necessarily how you're created to be. And
Well, we're definitely not like Ken. I got the.
speak for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you're a very beautiful man, Charlie, and yeah. But yeah, the culture is in need of a change, big time. We need to go back to God. We need to turn away from all this wickedness, and the Bible talks about how what good is it for a man to gain the whole world but to lose their soul? And you see these people doing that. Like, they are doing that very thing. They're giving up the most precious thing they have is their soul, and they're selling it just so they can have some money in their bank account and nice cars and people chasing after them. I mean, I don't know about you. And it's funny. Yeah, I get it. People are like, well, dude, you have a podcast that's saying this can make us famous. Like, if you've listened to our other podcasts, you'd know that's actually not what the show is technically about. It's promoting people. We're not chasing fame. So I thought that was kind of funny, though, when I came up with the name. I'm like, well, I want it to be the opposite of it. So anyways, if it makes any sense to you. But we need to turn back to God. This nation needs enough is enough. We can't keep chasing after pleasures and temporary things on this earth. It's never going to satisfy. And
the problem with a lot of what's drawing people away is we've had the Bible thumpers of the world out there that, quote unquote, what they're called, that have pushed it down your throat, and that's not the way to bring people to knowing Christ. The way to do that is through love. When you love one another, then that's when the light eventually comes on in their head, or you're happy all the time. And I'm one of the richest men in the world. I got my family, I got a wife, I got a roof over my head, I got a vehicle I drive, I got a job. I'm one of the richest persons on earth. I got everything that I need. Maybe not everything I want, but I got everything I need. And I give quite regularly in tithes and offerings, and we can't even, used to be you get that off on your taxes. Well, now you don't necessarily. You got to meet certain criteria now because the standard deduction went up so high. But we still continue to give on top of that. It's because we have faith that when we tithe and give, that He will provide back for us everything we need, and He has.
yeah,
And He has. So, other people believe different. I also believe that you can tithe other than financial. You can tithe time. Time today is as valuable as money, in my opinion. So if you tithe your time and you're up there leading worship, or you're not seeing any financial gain from it, you're tithing to that purpose. You're tithing to that church, and so on. I mean, there's very different examples. A little off subject from where we're going, but that's the way to do it, is through love. And it's the church's responsibility, not the government's responsibility, to take care of the people. And that's where the church has fallen bad. I've got a good friend of mine been friends since I've been 14, 15 years old, something like that. And he, knows about Christianity, never been into Christianity in his entire life. He has never been into politics in his entire life. And he's like, he told me the other day, he says, you've got to be just about out of your mind not to see the demonic stuff that's happening in the world today. And, he says, I'm beginning to see where you've been coming from all this time, because I throw him tidbits. I don't preach to him or anything like that. I just throw tidbits to him. And, when he's down, I love on my friend as best I can and stuff. And, and he's grown through that. And, he says, I'm beginning to see, where you're coming from a lot of this stuff. And I've turned him on to a lot of teachings and ministries that are spot on. A lot of them they're kind of off a little bit, but there's a lot of ministries that are spot on, and he's grown from that. So that's just an example of you don't sit there and pound down their throat. You plant seeds little by little, and the seeds will grow eventually. And that's what the church has got to get back into, instead of trying to take and grow them overnight, which is impossible. Plant the seeds, water them gradually.
Yeah, and I to go off of what you're saying, I believe that is the answer. Is not just truth, of course, is the answer. Truth will set you free. But and sorry guys for anyone that's offended by the preaching, but I have to be, this is who I am, and I can't, I got to be real to myself. Like, I am a Christian and I believe in God, and this is a platform that that God gave me, and so I guess I'm entitled to speak about the things that I care about.
And we don't just, we talk the other way too.
Right.
We've had people on that have talked about. Jason has a friend from high school that was on, and
he likes magic mushrooms.
He likes magic mushrooms, and,
and he's super cool. And we don't agree about.
He's a
everything.
great guy. He'd give the shirt off your back from what I've seen of him and heard of him and know of him. And but he talked about mushrooms, and everybody should take a mushroom high. At least once, but make sure you do it with somebody that's had one before, so that they can help you out.
Yeah, and he's a really, really cool guy, and so is anybody that has opposing views.
Yeah.
But I got to be real to myself, and so what I'm getting to is that love is the answer, and until we can learn to love one another, and I want to add this: you don't have to agree with someone's choices, what they're doing, what they believe,
to love on them,
and to love them. And that's what we got to establish in this country, is just because I don't agree with something does not mean I hate you. And why have we made it that way? Why has society made it to where, hey, you don't agree with me, so you hate me? Dude, I don't hate you because I disagree with your viewpoint on something. Can we not be friends and have different points of view, different beliefs and things? Are you going to hate me because I'm a Christian and I believe in God? Are you going to hate me because of that? That's not right. You should be able to go and hang out, like if we're friends, and hang out with me and have a good time, and still have we can have our little disagreements, whatever, but is that, there's more to life than that,
Yeah.
Put our differences aside.
And that's, spinning off of that too, that's what's wrong with the church. That is what is totally wrong with the church, because there are so many churches out there, and inside that church, they have their own views on the way it should be. And Well, Jason, you can't come to church at my church looking like that. You got to be in a suit and a tie.
Dude, I had someone at a church like months ago that I wore a hat.
Yeah.
Oh my! I've never seen anything like it. Yeah. I wore a hat, and turns out it offended them. They were deeply offended that I wore a hat in church.
Yeah. And traditionally it's not good, but we're not traditionally the churches we were 20, 30 years ago either. Even beyond, women wore dresses and guys wore suits and ties, and women are wearing pants now. Big deal. The bottom line is they're in the church. They're hearing the word.
I don't know, but that hat though, that'll lead people astray.
Does that stop you from hearing, or does it stop everybody else from hearing?
Right.
They actually did that. That happened to your brother-in-law too at one of the churches we went to. They cornered him afterwards and talked to him about it.
Yeah, that's not very inviting and welcoming. But
no. Same with tattoos. I don't agree with tattoos all over your body, but if somebody comes into church with tattoos, am I gonna shun them and say, "Man, go sit in the back where nobody can see"?
Right? Yeah. Are you gonna treat them differently because of their image?
No.
No. That's not who we're supposed to be. And so we apologize for the church, and how they've been. But I'm not going to back down on what I believe in because I'm trying to make everyone happy either. But I am going to love and respect and welcome absolutely everybody, no matter what they believe and who they are. So, and that's the way it should be. And the same thing for them. They're not going to back down. Like people that believe differently than me, you guys aren't going to back down from what you believe in for me. We
wouldn't want you to.
And we wouldn't want you to.
We may in our hearts want you to, but, that's not who you are at that point in time. So we don't want you to change until you're ready to change.
Yeah.
It'll become
Same for us, We weren't born, I should say we were born, but we come out in defile right away. We didn't get what we want, we start crying, So right at birth, we're in defiance. And that just grows and grows and grows and grows, no matter how much your mom or your dad or your aunt, your uncle, or your cousin, your neighbor, or whoever talks to you. Until you are physically ready to accept what, you have done wrong in your life, you're not going to change. And all we can do as Christians is love on you, pray for you. And it's ultimately it's between you and God. Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get to that point, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. That's all I can say.
We all got our own path and our own journey, and we need to focus on ourselves. And, we'll focus on God first, but then bettering our own self. And, you got a lot of critical people out there that they just want to look at other people's issues and judge other people around them, but not realize hey,
quit pointing your finger.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The so-and-so, it's a different podcast. So anyways, you want to focus on yourself and bettering yourself. Stop looking at all the negativity. My phone fell. That was negative. So I personally have issues with being negative. I'm more of a negative type of person. And it sucks the energy out of people sometimes. And I've had people tell me I'm negative, and I'm trying to work on that. Cause I want to be more positive towards things and not just see the bad in everything. So that's me, that's what I'm working on right now in my life. So, I mean, like even with this show, I've been really, really, really depressed, and even thinking about totally shutting down the podcast because it's just been, in my opinion, terrible. Like the shows have been extraordinarily boring. And I've been watching video after video on how to have a better podcast, better talking points, how to edit better, how to structure a show better. And it's just been until Andre came on, and then he saved the whole show.
Well, and you say that, Jason, too. You can watch all the videos you want, but those aren't you. And it's the thing of it is it's your show.
Yeah.
And it's like I've told you before, when a negative comment comes on, especially one, mine in particular, that was just hysterical.
Charlie, you know how to use a phone, I believe.
He didn't even know my name, but he commented on the podcast about how the guy in the green shirt didn't know
doesn't know how to use a phone. Hey, you hurt this man, and you need to apologize, all right?
But with that being aside, you feed off those comments just as we did. And, and then they've made some positive comments on there, hey, you guys should do this, or hey, you guys should do that, or hey, you should do this.
Yeah.
And that's, that's what we need, because we're trying to better it. And like I said, we can watch all the videos we want, but you guys are the one watching our videos.
Yeah.
And can see actually what's going on. I mean, we can watch them, but we sat through them, and we can make fun of each other all we want. But you guys know what you want because you're the ones watching it. Basically, what I'm trying to say.
You either like it or you don't like it. So I mean, I don't blame anybody if they're like, nah, this is not really the type of podcast I like listening to. It's kind of boring. Because, some people like listening to success podcasts, about health and wealth and all that. And that's not my type of podcast.
This is a successful podcast. We've talked about, I've lost a ton of weight, and we've talked about that.
Yeah,
so this is a
that's health.
Successful podcast. I can give you recipes. I can talk about keto. I can talk about Jason's experience of keto for his half a day that he was on it.
Shut up. Hey, now. So yeah, I mean, it's
that was funny. I mean, let me tell that story.
Oh my God!
Jason calls me up. He's all excited. Okay, John, a friend of ours, and him went for pizza on keto. Okay?
Yeah, day one, first day.
Day one
of keto.
Okay? Day one of keto. He goes for pizza. Okay. Calls me up, and he's all excited about this. You'll never believe I've had the best pizza. It was keto. It was cauliflower. Jason, that's not keto. And I told him how many carbs were in it. And he's like, huh? It's 22 grams of carbs in keto. I'm allowed 30 net grams of carbs on my keto.
And one of my slices of pizza had 20.
Slices of pizza had 22 net carbs.
Yeah, I was pretty sad about that. I'm like, I can't have anything, man. So I haven't been sticking to the diet at all. Basically, I failed after the first day.
You, with the exception of breakfast today, you've done pretty good, as I've seen, as like limiting.
Yeah.
What you eat at a time is smaller than what you've ate before.
Yeah, I'm eating less, and part of that could be the stress too, but I've been really, really, really stressed and very defeated lately.
You did send some pictures of some.
Finish that sentence, please. I sent some pictures of what?
Sent some pictures of some food that you ate when you was out there in Utah.
Oh yeah, Utah. When I went to Utah for my
different
work
story
trip.
when the company's paying for it. I'll take 6 of those and 4 of those and 3 of those.
Yeah, I had like a $40 steak. Shh, don't tell them. Some of them listen to the podcast and probably. Yeah. So hopefully I haven't gotten in a lot of trouble from some of the things I've said.
You were there with supervisors too, so
yeah,
I'm sure they went with you.
Yeah, definitely. So anyways, guys, I'm trying to hang in there with the show. I've been so busy at work that when I get home, I'm so exhausted. I worked 12 hours, like 3 12-hour shifts. I get home, I'm very, very tired, and I have a family, and I have to, take time to put the show together. I redid the studio to try to make it better we'll see how this one looks. I might change the table back. I don't know. Eventually, I'm going to put a TV here so we can do video broadcasting like what we did today, but right there. And Charlie can load stuff up on the screen so you guys can see it. His area is all new. I've moved my computer desk and my computer over there, so you'll eventually see that. But I'm trying to hang in there. I can't quit.
Side note, he took my drawers away.
I took Charlie's drawers away because he got a different desk, so he's missing his drawers. But guys, hang in there. And I'm sorry if this is not the podcast for you and you decided to unsubscribe. It is what it is. I am at the beginning. It's been almost officially a year.
Yeah, we looked up the other night.
I think it's April 6th. It's April something.
Well, we technically did one before that, but we dumped it.
It didn't work, for the first podcast. But
yeah.
It's been almost a year. Like in a week or two, it'll be a year. So that's a huge milestone for us to keep going. And we have gotten better since the first one. So I'm going to keep working on the shows. I am going to do my best. I don't want to quit. I shouldn't quit. I should keep going no matter what people think or say. The show hasn't been growing. It's kind of hit a brick wall, and I understand why. So hang in there. And for all those that have stuck by our side and not abandoned us, thank you. Thank you for believing in what we're doing. And hopefully one day we will be able to share our success with you. And I'm just committed to it.
Yeah, I got some guests that lined up after tax season because I'm kind of limited because of taxes.
Yeah, Charlie's been busy, just busy, but we're gonna keep doing this thing. So anyways, we're dragging on. I think we're pretty much at the hour. Yeah, we are past the hour mark. So guys, that's all we got for you. So we finished the show. We wrapped it up. Whoosh. That was a good one.
Andre's flying his drone right now.
Yeah, Andre's probably still flying his drone around and
spying on
staring out the window with his binoculars. But it was nice having him on the show. So, all right, guys, we're out of here. We're gonna go have some dinner, and I think that's what we're doing, right? We're gonna go have dinner.
Oh, I think there was something I was gonna say. See if I can find it quick. Not. Oh well, didn't need to hear it anyway. I guess
we need. You know what we should do is have like some kind of thing up with the different topics we're gonna talk about, so we don't forget. Because we just kind of wing most stuff, but
yeah, what
were you gonna say?
Yeah, I'm really concerned about this coming Saturday.
Why?
Because it's 4, 3, 2, 1. Isn't that the final countdown?
Oh my goodness!
Just push
there it
them
is.
all.
There it is. I found the clap.
And I learned a new word the other day. I told you this.
What is it?
Deja vu.
Oh yeah, you told me about that joke already.
Yeah,
So-
deja vu. Deja vu is the feeling you have heard that bull before.
Good one, Charlie. All right, we're going to wrap up the show. Guys, we're out of here. Take it easy. We love you. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the This Could Make Us Famous podcast. Want to help make someone famous? Have a story to share? Get in touch with us at facebook.com/This Could Make Us Famous. And be sure to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss a single episode.